how do you keep motivated? I think it's hard. There's always something else that motivates me. A lot of times I just look at or watch a workout video and I feel super motivated, but that doesn't always work. If you're tired or just feel fatigued, sometimes that's just not enough. I think it's a really good question, but it's really complex as well. I think motivation or inspiration is something that kind of fades away. So to keep motivated, you have to find like an inner strength, something like so much deeper, something that you know deep down you gotta do. So even though you have a bad day, you still go for your goals. I think that's the main thing, knowing what your goals are and knowing that every single day, even when you don't feel like training or you don't feel like eating the right food, you're still gonna do it. No one's forcing you to not do those things. Dave Goggins, who's a massive hero of mine, said that it's easy to go hard when everything goes well and smoothly, but when things suck, that's when you really have to push it, and that will make you the person you are, and that will make you to get to your goals. So I think that's about motivation, to find something deep inside that will keep you going forever. If you can only pick one exercise, what would it be? Well, it depends. One exercise for strength or one exercise overall. If I can only pick one exercise that I want you to do, it's definitely pull-ups. We don't do pull-ups because they're hard. We don't do pull-ups because they're just fucking hard, and we neglect them. Pull-ups will get you to so much further and so much closer to your goals than any other exercise. When did you start calisthenics? I started calisthenics about 3 years ago. I've been lifting weights for about seven or 8 years. I think I've seen some people do muscle ups in a park, and I was like, this is so exciting, this is so much cooler than just lifting weights. I find that really boring. I wanted to be in a better shape. I was always super skinny, so the main reason I started training just to look better, because people commented on me oh, you're so skinny, are you ill, you have any illnesses, what's wrong with you? Anyway, it started bugging me, and yeah, I started training, and then calisthenics was something that I actually realized that when it comes to training, calisthenics is something I actually really enjoy doing, because it should be all about fun. I always say this, I think you gotta have fun and you wanna have some good time while you're training. What do you eat on a daily basis? I always start my day with oats, with some cinnamon and some honey, maybe some nuts and oat milk and scrambled eggs, about 3 eggs with some onion, pita bread or a tortilla bread, and some tomatoes and avocado. So I eat about 4 times a day, and it's usually either rice or sweet potato or pea pasta with some veg. It could be broccoli, could be spinach, it could be carrots. The protein is either chicken or eggs, once again, or I'm going for cheese. I love cheese. I love cheese more than my life. Could be mozzarella, could be halloumi. Halloumi is a massive favorite of mine, or maybe there's some cheddar cheese, and I have that twice. So that's pretty much it. Okay, next question. You always seem to be happy. What's your secret? It's not much of a secret. I think it's just a mindset. I try to view even bad things good. There's no bad experience, there's only experience that you learn from. Even in bad situations, I try to find, okay, why is that happening? What's the good to see in this particular situation? And to be honest, I've always been a happy kid. I think life is too short to just be angry and miserable and frustrated all the time. So I try to aim to do the things that I love. I'm surrounding myself with good people, so that's another thing. I just close out every negative people of my life. I don't want anyone that would bring me down. I try to pick my surroundings and keep the circle tight. So I only hang out with people that I trust and I like, and the people that I can actually lean on. I think that's one of the main things and one of the things that keeps me happy. But again, end of the day, I love what I'm doing. I used to work as a chef. I was miserable. I was working 14, 15 hours a day. I loved cooking, but I didn't like the shouting head chefs. Because some of you, if you're a chef out there, you probably understand it, and you might be like, oh, you're just a pussy or whatever. But the thing is, I have a soft heart, and I took a lot of things personally. Chefing just wasn't for me, and I felt like I was miserable, so I changed that. And now I feel like I am a really happy person. What made you do calisthenics? I I kind of answered this question before. I was a skinny dude. I started training. I didn't really enjoy training itself, but I knew I had to do it. And when I first came across calisthenics, like through YouTube or just seeing these people in the park that I just mentioned you about, I thought, you know what, this is what I want to do. And maybe I'm like super far from it, but I'm gonna do my best to actually get to a similar level. You have a picture of a woman on your shoulder. Who is she? That's not a girlfriend, that's actually my mom, so she is that one. So I lost my mom when I was 17, and I never had a father around. Like, he kind of left when I was 2, so my mom was like everything to me. And I lost her when I was 17, and then my grandma raised me and brought me up. And I thought that I always want her on my arms, knowing that she's always with me. Even though I do believe she lives within us, but I just wanted to have a bit of memory, so she's always with me. How do you deal with frustration when you're not seeing improvement? Good question, because I'm so hard on myself. Literally, I'm like training, and I'm like, oh, my pull-up's not going up, or my push-up's not going up, or like, oh, my L-sit handstand is still like really dodgy and just wobbly. I just carry on. I have this no quitting attitude, and I think that this is how I deal with it. I'm super hard on myself. I know that. Maybe I shouldn't be, because I'm not as hard with my clients, but I'm like super hard with myself. But I think I just carry on. Like, I just carry on, and this is how I deal with it. And maybe, like just the other day, I had a session. I felt super weak. I was a bit like, oh, I'm not improving or anything. And then 2 days later, I had a session, and I felt like I smashed it. At the new PB and some of the exercise, I can't remember now, but it made me really happy. So I think that's the answer for that question. Is there an optimal weekly training amount? I think a lot of times we think that more is better, and it's not always true. Recovery is like super important. I think I'm just realizing now as well, because a lot of times I'm trying to train every single day, especially when it comes to like frustration. Let's say I couldn't hit a certain amount of reps or something. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go back next day, I'm gonna smash it, and I just do an even worse workout, because I gotta realize that you have to recover. Your body needs to rest, and I think that's sometimes the hardest, because more is not always better, and to sit back a little bit and just chill for a day or 2 sometimes leads to better results. Anything to 3 to 4 times. You can even train 5 to 6 times as well, but I don't think you should train like super hard every single day. I think, at least when I tried it, I burnt out. After like 4 days, I was like, I can't do anything, even like just getting up from bed felt like a nightmare. My body was aching, it just wasn't nice. So I try to do like at least 2 or 3 hard sessions, and then in between I probably just do like either cardio or train abs. That's a good way for your rest days. Train abs, and next day you can come back stronger. How do you make sure you're fueling your body with the right nutrition? So I used to track my calories. I did a lot of research. When I started training, like back in, 7-8 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing. I cut carbs. I thought I don't need them. I thought they're bad for me. I just felt really fatigued. I didn't feel like doing anything. After like doing a lot of research, and after like qualifying as a PT, I learned so much about like nutrition, started working in the gym, and talking to all these PTs, all these people from like super high knowledge and amazing experience. I decided to understand what my body needs. Again, just listen to your body, what you need. If you feel like you're putting a bit of fat, maybe cut some carbs, but never eliminate them fully, because carbs you need just for your brain to function, and so many other things. So I think it's just about a balance. And I don't really eat any like chocolate or like sugar. I don't really crave it either. So yeah, I think that's the way to keep it track. And you also got to enjoy what you eat. I think the worst thing you could do is try to follow a diet that you just hate. So eat what you love, but maybe just choose a little bit healthier choices. What's the best way to track your progress? I use a pen and a paper. I literally write everything down. Unfortunately, not all the time, which is it's something I still have to work on, but I try to make sure that I write everything down, so when I revisit the previous pages on the next workout session, I know what I did, and I try to push it a little bit harder, a little bit further, because we're not going to remember. You're not going to remember if you did, 8 weighted pull-ups, next day you do around 8 and you're like, oh, I kind of did the same as last week. No, you've got to track it, you've got to write it down what you did, and if last week you did 8 pull-ups, try and do 9 pull-ups, or try and do 10, or maybe do 8 but more controlled, maybe more like time under tension. So it is really worthy to write down what your goals are and how you actually get to them. It keeps you, I think it keeps you there more consistently. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, so that's it for all the Q&A, guys. Thank you for these questions. I hope you learned something. If you have any other questions, just write it in the comment section below. And if you could like this video, that would really help me out. I guess I will see you in the next video. Peace!